Okay, then. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. And welcome to today's webinar. The future of knowledge is here. And let's explore our AI-powered knowledge base. We are so excited to have you all here join us today. Um, so I'm Kirtana, the host for today. I'm a senior product owner here at Applaud. And alongside me, I have one of my very favorite colleagues here at Applaud, if I may say so, our very own Steve Jackson. Steve, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Employee of the month there, Kirtana. Thanks for the intro. Yeah, I'm the Director of Product Management here at Applaud. Been here a long time, 12 years. I'm excited to take you through a demo of our AI-powered knowledge base a little later on after Kirtana has done her intro.
Thank you very much, Steve. So before we go forward with today, I'd like to touch on a few housekeeping terms. Here at Applaud, we love interactive sessions. So please try to keep the session as interactive as possible. At any point during the webinar, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat that you see on your screen and fire your questions at us. We'll try to cover as many as possible at the end of the webinar. And we also would love to know the person behind the name. So please feel free to introduce yourselves in your own time. We would love to know where you're tuning in from, why you're attending today's session, and what you'd like to take away from today's session as well. So please feel free to do so on your own time. For those of you who are new to Applaud, I'd like to give a quick introduction to Applaud. We are a one-stop shop solution for all your employee needs. We specialize in HRSD solutions, including an intelligent HR portal, which is a one-stop shop for all of your employee needs. We offer an intelligent AI assistant, which offers generative AI-based conversation for all HR-related queries, a knowledge management system, which is the key focus of today's demo. But let me give a brief highlight of the same. Our knowledge management system helps keep all of your content up to date, easily accessible, and a little bit more about that in the demo that follows. We have a HR case management system that helps you streamline all of your HR cases. We also offer journeys, which are hyper-personalized experiences for all the key moments in your employee lifecycle, like your onboarding and your offboarding. We also offer a no-code creator platform that helps you extend all of these solutions for larger enterprises with more complicated solutions. So moving forward. So one of the first things that I learned here at Applaud was to always make data-driven solutions. So some of you might be having the question, is this just another product that we're pushing into the market, or if there is a real need for the same? And for those of you, I have some interesting statistics here. Did you know that 89% millennials often tend to use a search engine before picking up the phone and making a call to a customer service? As a millennial myself, I know I can vouch for that. I know the number of times I preferred not picking up the phone and making a call. But Steve, would you like to share your experience on this?
Yeah, definitely. I wish I was a millennial. I'm not even sure what I count as. Probably a boomer or something else. Like just an old man, I would call myself. But as an old man, I have lots of grown-up children now, 4 of them, and I know that all of them are absolutely averse to the whole concept of interacting with a human to try and get an answer. If it's something as simple as trying to phone a garage to get a quote for damage to a car, or phoning the doctors, or whatever it is, that's always a last resort. If they can get hold of that information from their phone, they will always take that route. And I think we're guilty of that myself as well, because there's so much information available now. You don't always need to talk to a person, and that's just the way that the world is now. Information's there, but often it's not always easy as it should be to actually access that information. And that's why we've got our product set up in the way that it is, so that you can author knowledge content, but also make sure that people can find it wherever they work.
That is so true, Steve. That also leads me to our next statistic. 73% of the people prefer using self-support over waiting for a time, rather than waiting for a reply. So that's pretty interesting as well. But something that I found really, really interesting was the next statistic that we see here on this screen. Did you know that on an average, an employee spends 1.8 hours every day looking up for information? So, assuming we have a 5-day work week, that's about 9 hours every week. So, if we have a team of 5 members, that means 4 of them are actually just contributing value, and one team member is just lost in shared drives and emails and the intranet, looking up information but not really contributing any value. And I think this addresses the need of the hour, that we need not only a knowledge management system, but rather an intelligent knowledge management system that not only helps you save on time, but also helps address employees' frustration, thereby increasing the overall productivity. Uh, with that, I think we can get started on our demo. Steve, would you like to take it forward from here?
Yeah, thanks for the intro there. Some frankly terrifying statistics about the amount of time that people spend trying to find this information. That's why there's such a need to just do better as vendors. That's what we're looking to try and do here. So got a reasonably complex demo to show you. Complex for me in terms of demoing it, but demoing across 3 different personas. Just to summarize who I'm going to be using. So our knowledge management product has 2 key roles. You've got the concept of knowledge owner. This helps to kind of decentralize the management of content. So you can give different people access to different areas of your knowledge to maintain without giving them the enhanced permissions that a knowledge manager would have. And they're the ones that are guardians of the roles and categories and everything else. So I'll be showing you some activities that a knowledge owner will be doing. So creating content using AI, submitting for approvals. We'll show some of the revision side of things so you can keep track of different versions, roll back to them if you wish. We've got analytics in here that helps you track the success of your knowledge strategy and help you fill in all those gaps. The knowledge manager will show some pieces in there about how you actually organize your knowledge, deal with complex category hierarchies, and how some of that stuff can be nicely aligned to where your knowledge already lives at the moment. And we've also got an employee here that doesn't have any of the knowledge management capabilities of the other 2 people, but this is an example of a typical person. How do they find that knowledge? Where does it live? And how they can access that either through browsing, searching, through AI assistant, and many other ways. This is how we connect people up, connect these millennials up to these answers, so they don't have to speak to real people if they're worried to do so. So I'm going to try and seamlessly switch my screen. Wish me luck. It doesn't always go well. Okay, so let's go into this is knowledge manager we're going to show first. So first of all, screen share check. Kitana, can we see my screen?
Yes, Steve, I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So first piece of this demo will be to do with kind of organizing your knowledge. So we have got, I'll show the categories first of all. Different companies have many different ways that they organize their knowledge. I say organize, often it's disorganized. They've got some things in wikis, they've got things in SharePoint. They may have things in different systems. We've recently integrated with ServiceNow, Unily, Saba, all into one place, bringing a ton of knowledge from all over the place, all over the world, all into one place, easy to maintain, manage, and extend, and also to see where some of those gaps are. So this is our managed categories page where you can see a fairly straightforward structure. You've got 12 top level categories, and each of these top level categories can have up to 6 subcategories beneath them. Personally, I think that's far too many, but we do support that. We have to kind of be flexible for all needs, but my kind of take on it is try and keep it simple. It will make it easier for people to find things. But one of the interesting things you can see from here right away is we're using these what we call chips, these little coloured indicators that can immediately show you how your coverage is looking. So for the category of onboarding and orientation, coverage looks good. This is AI analysing the depth and breadth of your content and giving you a kind of thumbs up, thumbs down really about how much coverage you've got and where the gaps are. Over here, performance management, major coverage gaps. So you can see within there where your gaps in coverage are, and that helps you understand we need to do better with this to go off and fill in those gaps. So let's just go back to that. You can add new categories in here at any time as a knowledge manager, if you wish. What's going on there? I'll slow down. Come back to that. Adding new categories. You can add new subcategories as well anytime, and you can also view these as a list and also as a tree view as well. All of these categories can be exported and they can also be imported as well. So we can match up to your existing knowledge kind of hierarchy, regardless of where it is. So this is probably the most basic part of this. It's kind of housekeeping, if you will, but the concept of AI coverage is a powerful addition. If we go into the next part of this, about how you add and manage, maintain users, you can see at the moment we've got Annalise is a knowledge manager. You can also grant access to different people and choose whether or not they would be knowledge manager or knowledge owner. So this is all available to HR. This has been designed purely for HR. There's no need for IT to be involved in this. If you need to grant access to somebody, you don't even need HRIS, let alone IT. You can manage who is working on your knowledge as easily as that, which obviously saves a lot of time and reduces a lot of admin headache. Back to that one in a moment. So this is where all the fun happens, really. So as a knowledge manager, I will be, if somebody that's a knowledge owner creates some content, we have approvals on it. So say, for example, Milton here, they have written an article about equipment return for existing employees, and it's waiting for my approval as a manager. Some bandwidth issues to that. I do apologise for that. Okay. So you can see on here, this revision requires approval. So this means that for this article, the knowledge owner, who is Milton, they've written this article, they've submitted it for approval. Now it's down to me as a knowledge manager to have a look at this and see if it is ready to go. So it looks to me a very basic article. There's nothing, not really too much detail in there at all, just on an initial skim through. If we go back to manage knowledge, we can look at some different examples of how AI can really start to give you some insights into this that you wouldn't immediately pick up on as a person necessarily. This is a note to me to upgrade to broadband rather than dial-up. Maybe I'm a bit tight on the funds. Here we go. So this is where we start to show some of the deeper understandings of AI, obviously we've got the Ask HR bot in the bottom right there, which is an AI chatbot. So possibly a kind of different session, really. It's a whole significant area of functionality in its own right, which I'll try and cover if I can. But at Applaud, AI is through everything. It's not just, hey, we built a bot. Everyone's done that. Who cares? We've gone above and beyond that to the point where even some of our technology providers have reached out to us and said, hey, you're blazing a trail, guys. Can we learn from you about what you're doing? Because other people have not made anywhere near this sort of innovation yet. So there's tons of stuff going on, and AI is throughout this. So on the left here, we're seeing an article which may have been created manually or may have been created using AI, which I'll show you the difference shortly. But what we're going to try and do here is show you what happens once you've written an article. So we've got this scorecard here. So every time you write an article or revise it, AI runs in the background and gives you an opinion about the quality of this article. So here we're saying readability and accessibility, that's scoring well, it's getting a 9. Originality is only down as a 5. So it's saying, yeah, it's a great article, but maybe you've copied and pasted it from somewhere. You need to make this more personal to your business. So you can see here, you want to be trying to aim to get your scores as high as possible. So by having this scorecard generated consistently across all of your knowledge, it helps to maintain high standards of readability, engagement, relevance, and originality to ensure that your content standards are as high as possible. Because as you push this out to a wider audience of authors, there's naturally going to be some inconsistency or different levels of English or whichever language you're authoring in. So the AI helps to maintain some consistency. We also have a concept of brand tone of voice, and that's something you can set at your kind of theme level. You can choose whether to be kind of friendly and professional, or however you want your tone of voice to be. And then when AI is analyzing your content or writing your content, it writes it in that consistent tone of voice. We'll quickly touch on revisions and history whilst we're here before we go into creating content. So in this particular article, there's only been one version of it. You can see that it's the current version and it's the published revision. If there were more revisions, they would show in that list there. If I've got time, I'll try and show you an example of that. But here we have a timeline view that shows everything that's happened in the life cycle of this article. So you can see back on 15th of May, it was created using AI. It got submitted for approval. It was approved. There was no return for correction needed there, and it was published. So a nice, simple, and hopefully typical, smooth publishing of some content there. If you were to have different versions of things, or if things have been returned for correction, they would show up in here as well. May have an example of that somewhere I can show you. Okay. I've been lucky. No, this one's only been one version. And I guess that you could say that's because the AI is so good. We don't need to have multiple versions. But also, if you did have multiple versions, just quickly to add, you can easily click on one and you can revise. There would be a button up here that would say restore this revision, and you can have many different levels of revision in here. So you kind of maintain that paper trail for traceability. But how do you actually create the knowledge in the first place? So we'll switch over to here and show what happens as a knowledge owner. I'll try and do that using this. So I've now switched over to a different person. This is Milton. He's not a knowledge manager. He is only a knowledge owner. So this is my knowledge. These are all the articles that I've written as Milton over the course of time. So you can see these are the ones that are in progress where there's unpublished edits, ones that are waiting for approval. So this one here, I've written the article, I've submitted it to the manager, and she hasn't approved it yet, which will show that in a moment. You can also show archived, not archived content. So if you need to retire something at any point, you can archive that. And then that will just be immediately removed from the knowledge base. Employees won't get to see that. But here we go with the fun part. So we'll start off with something created manually. So I want to write knowledge about, let's say, employee exit and offboarding. So if we just grab some content from somewhere, this is me writing this manually. I'm just pasting in something that I've grabbed off the internet. It's intentionally got some spelling mistakes in there. I'm not using a template at the moment. This is just pasted straight in. If I did want to choose a template, we have 4 of them available out of the box. So again, to help with structure and consistency, you may want all of your policy overviews or how-to guides to follow a set structure. So by choosing how-to guide, it populates this for you. So even if you're writing manually, you can ensure that you're filling in content consistently. We've obviously got other ones for FAQs, policy overviews, and what have you. If you want to go rogue and just paste in whatever you're thinking at the time, you can do that here. But we've still got some further guidelines around this. We can use AI to polish the content. So this will read through this and it will make minor adjustments. It won't significantly rewrite it, but it will correct things like typos, spelling mistakes, punctuation that's incorrect, and kind of improve it. It's almost like a teacher marking your homework without actually significantly rewriting it or generating anything new. And you can also use AI to automatically generate a title and subtitle. So it will work out, read through this and think, oh, this must be about X, and it will generate those for you. So that's just a simple way of creating articles. So we'll submit that, and whilst that's off running, we'll go and create something using AI as well. So the screen automatically updates. You can see here, it's summarizing the policy. There's some AI running in the background. So let's go off and create something completely automatically. So again, we've still got these policies in here. So if we want to do a how-to guide, let's try and pick a category. Do employee exit and offboarding as well. And here we can see there's these tokens for the topic. So write a how-to guide about best practice. Oops. You can see why AI is needed. I can't even type. Best practice for conducting exit interviews. So I've just typed in maybe 5 words there, and I hit go. And now AI will go off and it'll think, right, I'm going to write an article about that. Take a little bit of time to do that. When that has happened, it will show up in this list. It will also score itself. It's not where I showed that we were scoring the manual articles. AI also marks its own homework and gives itself suggestions. So you don't have to just always fully trust what it's giving you. So here we can see AI is working its magic. Please wait. After some time, this will be ready for you to review. So now if we go off and see down here, we've got the waiting for approval. This is Milton has previously submitted this. We'll now switch back to Annalise, who's the manager, and you can see up here in the top right, we've got notifications. So these are kind of all of your notifications throughout Applaud, of which approval of knowledge is just one of many. So if you happen to have knowledge management installed alongside other things like a portal or time off or whatever it is, notifications are in a central place, but they're also available from your knowledge management list as well. But if we look in here, you can see over time, there's different nudges. So there's been a reminder, right? This person obviously hasn't approved that in a timely fashion, so they get reminded, you need to approve this article, and again, final reminder. So I think, okay, I'm getting told off here. There's a reminder, this person is, Milton's submitted this article. I can go off and view more, and it takes me in. So I'm like, okay, this is what they've written. Do I want to approve that? Not really. It's not much in there. The scorecard might not be great, so I can choose to return that, and I can give some constructive criticism, like do better, or something far more useful. This will then send this back to Milton and advise him, yeah, that hasn't been published. It's been returned for edits, and you've still got work to do. So this is a great way of having this workflow between content managers, content authors. Let's quickly have a look at a couple of other things we can do here. We can personalize where this content lives and who can see it. So see on the right here, we can first of all change who owns this. So Milton did such a bad job of that last article. Maybe we'll give it to somebody else. We can choose to put somebody else's name in here, hit save, and that will take that article away from Milton, give it to somebody else, and they will become the new knowledge owner of that. You can also choose to personalize where this content is available. So at the moment, when it gets published by default, it's available to everybody immediately upon being published. But if you might think, well, this is only relevant to people in...
Sorry to interrupt. We just have a minute left. So...
Golly, okay, this is the last thing really. We can choose to be in a different country, or we can be manager exclusive. And then once you've actually published this, it's all becomes available via search and also via the bots as well. So if we have a quick look over here, someone might have searched for hybrid working. Well, that was actually already answering that. So you ask a question like that, the bot will start to answer that, and it will give you the suggested results as well. So yeah, sorry, I've run out of time there. It was just running a little bit slower than would have helped, but covered as much as I could fit into the time there, really. Any questions that have come in the last few seconds, we can try and cover those offline. But before we do that, I'll just quickly summarize the last couple of bits before we close up.
Yes, Steve, thank you so much. I see that we have one question, and we can take the rest. We'll make sure to address the rest via an email. We have a question: is the user base linked to the Active Directory?
Is it linked to the Active Directory? You can pull content in from a multitude of different sources. So if you wanted to try and sync them together, it's something that could well be possible, but it's not an out-of-the-box capability. It's definitely something that is feasible, but it's not an out-of-the-box function right now.
Thank you for that, Steve. We'll get back to the rest of the questions via email. Thank you, everybody. Sorry we've shot over time. A quick reminder for everybody, this webinar was a part of our AI EX series, and we have 3 more sessions coming up that you can see on the screen. Please scan the QR code that you see on your screen to register for the same. We also offered a 30-day free trial to get hands-on with our product. please scan the QR code to register for the same, and maybe you can try our product for yourselves. And thanks everybody for joining. We hope to see you on the other side. We are available via email to connect and answer any more of your queries. Thank you so much. And once again, sorry for overshooting by a couple of minutes, and have a lovely rest of the day, everybody. Bye.
Right.